Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talk Talk Speak podcast. Today, we're doing a deep dive.
That's right.
Forget sifting through endless articles and reports. We've done the heavy lifting to bring you the most crucial insights.
Exactly. And today's deep dive takes us into the fascinating world of the Tata Group. We'll be exploring their long and, really rich history, their incredible expansion across so many different sectors.
Yeah.
And offering a perspective on what their future might hold, all grounded, of course, in the material we've examined.
From its 19th century origins to its current global footprint spanning industries, you wouldn't even imagine. The Tata story is truly epic.
It really is.
Our mission in this deep dive is to understand the pivotal moments, the guiding philosophies, and the strategic shifts that have shaped this Indian powerhouse.
Right.
Ultimately, we want to extract valuable lessons about business evolution and global impact. So where does this incredible journey begin?
It all starts with the vision of one man, Jamsetji Tata. Born into a Parsi family in Navsari, his early involvement in his father's business sort of laid the groundwork.
Right.
A significant turning point came with a lucrative supply contract during the Abyssinian expedition. That provided crucial capital.
Ah, okay. And from that, in 1868, with, 21,000? He established a trading company.
That's it.
It's amazing to think that this was the spark for such a vast organization. But his ambition stretched far beyond mere trade, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Jamsetji's vision was much bigger. It was really about industrializing India. His core philosophy, which, profoundly influenced the group, was to operate, and I quote, on sound principles, considering the interests of the shareholders as our own and the health and welfare of the employees as the sure foundation of our success.
Wow. That early emphasis on the well-being of employees was quite forward-thinking for the time.
Very much so.
It's striking how early that commitment to social responsibility was baked in. I read that Nehru even described him as a one-man planning commission.
He did, yeah. That really highlights his early and significant contribution to India's industrial development.
And his vision wasn't just abstract. He had specific industries in mind, right?
Precisely. He had 4 key goals: establishing a steel company, a world-class hotel, a top-tier educational institution, and hydropower development.
So a blueprint for nation building.
You could definitely see it that way. A blueprint for nation building through enterprise, even under the constraints of colonial rule.
That kind of long-term vision in that environment is truly remarkable. And it wasn't just about grand projects. He also recognized the importance of the people who would, power them.
Indeed. His early focus on employee welfare at Empress Mills, for example.
Yeah.
Introducing initiatives well before any legal mandates. It was revolutionary, really.
Yeah.
This was the very genesis of what we now recognize as the Tata Group's unique corporate ethos.
So with that powerful vision established, how did these ambitious goals begin to materialize in those early years?
Well, the initial move was from trading to manufacturing. Textiles was the entry point. In 1869, Jamsetji made a shrewd move. He acquired a bankrupt oil mill in Mumbai, transformed it into the Alexandra Mill.
Right.
And what's particularly interesting is that he not only revitalized it, but sold it for a profit within just 2 years.
Shows good business sense early on.
Definitely demonstrated his keen business acumen.
A quick and decisive success. And then came Empress Mill in Nagpur in 1874. Why Nagpur, though? Why not Bombay, which was a more established textile center?
Well, that decision underscores his strategic foresight, I think. While Bombay was dominant, Nagpur offered untapped potential.
I see.
Empress Mill grew quickly, becoming India's largest integrated textile mill by 1877. And crucially, by 1886, they were already implementing significant employee welfare measures there.
Again, showing that early commitment.
Exactly, putting that philosophy into tangible action.
So a strategic location combined with that core philosophy driving success in textiles. And then the hospitality sector, the world-class hotel dream.
Yes, the Indian Hotels Company was established in 1902 specifically to fulfill that dream. The opening of the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel in Bombay in 1903 was a landmark event. It was India's first luxury hotel.
Incredible.
And the first in British India to be electrified. It became an immediate symbol of Indian enterprise and, national pride.
A true icon, even today. And alongside these burgeoning businesses, there was also a strong current of philanthropy right from the start.
Absolutely. Jamsetji believed that business success and social good should go hand in hand.
Right.
The establishment of the J.N. Tata Endowment Fund in 1892 to support Indian students pursuing higher education abroad is a perfect illustration.
Ah, yes.
It marked the formal beginning of Tata's institutionalized philanthropy, demonstrating that these two aspects were, well, always intertwined.
So Jamsetji laid this extraordinary foundation, not just of businesses, but of a philosophy. How did his vision carry forward after he passed away?
That brings us to Sir Dorabji Tata, Jamsetji's eldest son. He assumed the chairmanship in 1904. His primary focus was really on realizing his father's remaining key ambitions and expanding the group's footprint in those foundational industries.
And he successfully brought those key aspirations to life, didn't he? Steel, hydropower, and that world-class scientific institution. These were all central to Jamsetji's vision.
Indeed. The Tata Iron and Steel Company, Tisco, now Tata Steel, of course, was founded in Sakchi, which later became Jamshedpur in 1907.
India's first integrated steel plant.
Exactly. A monumental step for Indian industrialization. By 1939, it had grown to be the largest steel plant in the entire British Empire.
Wow.
Then, the first hydroelectric power plant in Western India led to the establishment of the Tata Hydroelectric Power Supply Company in 1910, later renamed Tata Power.
Right.
And in education, the Indian Institute of Science, ISC, in Bangalore was established in 1909, admitting its first students in 1911, fulfilling another crucial element of Jamsetji's long-term plan.
So in a relatively short period, Sir Dorabji delivered on these massive undertakings. And the group also began to explore new sectors beyond these core areas, right?
Yes, under Sir Dorabji, we see the beginnings of diversification into sectors like cement, consumer goods with the Tata Oil Mills Company, TOMCO, producing everyday items like soaps and edible oils, starting in 1917.
Okay.
Then India's first indigenous insurance company in 1919, and even the establishment of Tata Coffee in 1922.
So a significant broadening of their industrial base.
Right.
And the philanthropic endeavors also continued and became more structured.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sir Dorabji and Sir Ratan Tata, Jamsetji's younger son, made substantial personal contributions. And they formalized the group's commitment to giving back through the creation of the Sir Dorabji Tata Trust in 1932 and the Sir Ratan Tata Trust even earlier in 1918. Right. What's particularly noteworthy here is that these trusts came to hold nearly 2/3 of the shares of Tata's sons.
2/3? Wow.
Yes. Effectively embedding philanthropy as a core and enduring characteristic of the entire group's structure.
So Sir Dorabji not only delivered on his father's industrial dreams, but also solidified this fundamental value of social responsibility through these enduring trusts. Then came JRD Tata, who led the group for an exceptionally long and transformative period.
Indeed. JRD Tata took over as chairman in 1938 and led the Tata Group right up until 1991, an incredible tenure.
Yeah.
And his tenure was marked by an extraordinary period of expansion and diversification, truly shaping the conglomerate as we know it today.
Extraordinary feels like an understatement. The sheer scale of growth under his leadership is remarkable. Assets jumping from, about $100 million to over $5 billion?
That's right. And the number of companies exploded from 14 to 95.
Incredible. And he was a pioneer in so many emerging industries.
He had a remarkable ability to identify and invest in future-facing sectors. Think about aviation.
Right. He was a pilot himself.
India's first licensed pilot, yes. And he founded Tata Air Services in 1932, which later became Tata Airlines.
And eventually Air India.
Yeah. Exactly, the national carrier. And he continued as its chairman for many years, even after it was nationalized. Then you have the establishment of Tata Chemicals in 39, Tata Motors in 45, initially focused on locomotives before moving into commercial vehicles.
I read the telco era.
That's it.
Yeah.
Then Lakme in cosmetics, Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, a pioneering software services company in 1968.
Huge one.
Tata Tea in 62, and Titan Industries and Watches in 84. The list just goes on and on.
It's just incredible, the breadth of industries they ventured into under his guidance. And he also had a very clear articulation of the Tata Group's purpose beyond just business success, didn't he?
He did. He famously described Tata as being less a business house than a trust and an institution. He deeply believed in the concept of trusteeship and the group's responsibility to contribute to national development. He envisioned it as a commonwealth of enterprises, bound together by the fact that they belong to the larger Tata Group and possess an underlying loyalty and a common set of beliefs.
A commonwealth of enterprises that really captures the essence, doesn't it? Independent entities operating under a shared set of values.
Precisely.
And, continuing the tradition, he also oversaw the establishment and support of numerous important institutions.
Yes, the family's commitment to philanthropy continued under his leadership. Establishment or significant support of institutions like Tata Memorial Hospital, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and the National Center for the Performing Arts.
So JRD Tata truly transformed the group into this modern, diversified conglomerate, venturing into these crucial, future-oriented sectors while upholding that fundamental Tata ethos. However, this relatively decentralized Commonwealth model, it must have presented its own management challenges as the group grew so large and complex.
It did, absolutely. While this structure encouraged entrepreneurial spirit and growth, the significant autonomy of individual company CEOs
Right.
and the relatively low equity stakes held by Tata sons in many of these companies that would later present challenges.
In terms of control.
In terms of maintaining central control and ensuring strategic cohesion, yeah. Particularly as India's economic landscape began to shift and global competition intensified under Ratan Tata's leadership.
Makes sense. And the nationalization of Tata Airlines?
Mm-hmm.
While a moment of national pride, it also highlights that complex interplay between private enterprise and national development.
Exactly. A constant balancing act the group navigated.
Absolutely. Now, we mentioned a table summarizing those key milestones up to 1991. Let's now turn our attention to the next chapter, the era of globalization under Ratan Tata. With India's economy liberalizing, it must have been a period of profound change for the group.
Oh, it was a truly transformative period. Ratan Tata's succession in 1991 coincided directly with India's economic liberalization.
Right on time.
Perfect timing, almost. This opened up the Indian market to global competition, and it necessitated a significant shift for the Tata Group. They had to move from a primarily domestic focus to a truly global strategic outlook.
And his appointment wasn't entirely smooth, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Our sources suggest there was some initial internal resistance to his leadership.
Yes, there was a degree of skepticism, maybe even resistance within certain parts of the group. Concerns were raised about his past experiences. And additionally, some influential CEOs within the group at that time, they presented internal challenges to his authority.
So he not only had to steer the group through a rapidly changing external environment, but also consolidate his leadership internally. And that existing dispersed shareholding structure must have added another layer of complexity.
It did, big time. With Tata sons holding relatively small equity stakes in many of the group companies, Ratan Tata recognized the need to strengthen central control.
How did he do that?
He focused on gradually increasing Tata sons' stakes in key entities and also introduced group-wide policies like mandatory retirement ages for directors.
Okay.
The introduction of the Tata Brand Equity and Business Promotion Agreement, the BEBP agreement, in 1998 was another crucial step.
What did that do?
This agreement required companies using the Tata brand to pay a fee and, importantly, to adhere to the Tata Code of Conduct.
So promoting alignment.
Exactly, greater alignment across the diverse group, although it did face some initial criticism from some quarters.
So he's laying the foundation for a more unified and globally minded Tata Group. And with the increased competition in India, the established flagship companies needed to adapt quickly, I imagine.
Precisely. Flagship companies like Tata Steel and Tata Motors, they long operated within a protected economic environment. Now they faced new pressures.
Right.
A real need to enhance their competitiveness, cost efficiency, product quality, customer satisfaction, all of it.
And in the domestic market, we saw some bold strategic moves, like the launch of the Tata Indica.
The launch of the Tata Indica in 1998 was a landmark event. It was India's first truly indigenously designed and manufactured passenger car.
The big deal.
Huge. And a significant strategic gamble for a company primarily known for commercial vehicles. It signaled a clear ambition to enter and compete in new segments of the auto market. Simultaneously, the group began a strategic pivot, increasing focus on emerging sectors like telecom, software, retail, automobiles.
Right.
While gradually exiting some of the more traditional businesses like cosmetics, soaps, and cement.
But the truly transformative aspect of his tenure was that aggressive push towards globalization and those huge international acquisitions.
The growth in revenue from global markets during this period is just remarkable.
It is indeed. Revenue from international markets surged dramatically from, 5% in 1991 to over 60% by 2012?
Wow.
And this was largely fueled by a series of strategic and often bold international acquisitions.
Like Tetley Tea.
Tetley Tea, yes, by Tata Tea in 2000, made them the second largest tea company globally. Then the acquisition of Daewoo Motors' truck business by Tata Motors. The landmark acquisition of Chorus Group by Tata Steel in 2007. That was the largest overseas acquisition by an Indian company at the time.
And Jaguar Land Rover.
And of course, the iconic acquisition of Jaguar Land Rover JLR from Ford in 2008. Those were truly game-changing moves, catapulting the Tata Group onto the global stage. But they weren't without their challenges, were they? Particularly Chorus, with the financial crisis hitting soon after.
Absolutely. While these acquisitions significantly expanded Tata's global footprint, gave access to new tech and markets, built global brands, they also came with substantial financial commitments.
Right.
And huge integration challenges. As you said, notably experienced with Chorus after the 2008 crisis. However, JLR, despite initial difficulties, ultimately emerged as a key profit driver for the group.
Yeah, that turned out well eventually. And we can't forget the Tata Nano, the ambitious project to create the world's most affordable car.
The Nano.
It generated immense global attention, even if it didn't quite hit those initial sales targets.
The Tata Nano, launched around 2008-2009, definitely captured global imagination. Huge expectations. While it aimed to revolutionize personal transport, its sales performance, well, it ultimately fell short of the initial projections. Both the Indica launch and the Nano initiative, along with those large-scale international acquisitions, they really highlight the increased risk appetite and strategic ambition that characterized Ratan Tata's leadership.
So alongside this global expansion and these bold ventures, there was also a concerted effort to reinforce and institutionalize the Tata ethos across this increasingly diverse and international group.
Yes, Ratan Tata placed a strong emphasis on codifying and strengthening the Tata Group's core values, ethical standards, and focus on operational excellence.
How do they do that practically?
Well, the introduction of the Tata Business Excellence Model, or TBEM, was a key initiative, aimed at driving continuous performance improvement across all group companies.
Okay.
Furthermore, the Tata Code of Conduct and that BEDP agreement we mentioned, they serve to link the use of the Tata brand with adherence to these ethical principles and a commitment to excellence.
Ensuring consistency.
Exactly, ensuring that the group's expansion was guided by its long-standing values.
It really sounds like Ratan Tata's leadership was pivotal, successfully navigating internal dynamics and boldly leading the Tata Group into a new era of globalization. And we mentioned a table summarizing those key acquisitions and strategic initiatives under him. Now let's move into the more recent period, from 2012 onwards, and the leadership transitions that followed his retirement.
Right. That brings us to the period following Ratan Tata's retirement, a time marked by significant leadership changes and internal dynamics, ultimately leading to the current leadership under N. Chandrasekaran.
The appointment of Cyrus Mistry in 2012 was a notable event, given his strong connection to the Tata Group through the Shapoorji Pallonji Group. And he initially had Ratan Tata's support, didn't he?
Yes, Cyrus Mistry. His family's Shapoorji Pallonji Group is the largest single shareholder in Tata Sons. He was appointed chairman in December 2012 with Ratan Tata's initial endorsement.
But things changed.
Yes. Significant differences in approach and vision soon emerged. It culminated in Mistry's sudden removal as chairman in October 2016 through a board vote.
And Tata Sons publicly stated their reasons for his removal, although Mr. Mistry strongly contested those reasons, didn't he?
Oh, yes. Tata Sons cited a range of issues. Allegations of mismanagement, a decline in performance of some group companies, a loss of confidence in his leadership. Concerns about handling sensitive information, public statements deemed detrimental. Ratan Tata's biography later highlighted concerns about potential moves towards breaking up the group, ethical issues related to Mistry's ties with the SP Group, and specific instances like the handling of the NTT Docomo dispute and the Wellspun Energy acquisition.
And Mr. Mistry, in turn, offered his own perspective on the events leading to his dismissal.
He countered these allegations, claimed board mismanagement, oppression of minority shareholders, lack of proper corporate governance. He argued his removal was because of his efforts to address governance issues and his decisions to, for example, discontinue the loss-making Nano project and exit underperforming telecom businesses.
This then led to a very protracted and highly publicized legal battle that went all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yes, it did. A complex legal saga. The National Company Law Tribunal initially dismissed Mistry's petition. Then the Appellate Tribunal actually ruled in 2018 to reinstate him.
Right, I remember that.
But ultimately, the Supreme Court of India overturned the NCLAT's decision in March 2021. They upheld Mistry's dismissal and found no evidence of oppression or mismanagement.
A very difficult period for the group.
A period of significant turbulence, absolutely. And tragically, as you know, Cyrus Mistry passed away in September 2022.
This whole episode really brought the internal workings and governance of such a massive and influential conglomerate into very sharp public focus. Following this period of upheaval, N. Chandrasekaran was appointed to lead the group.
N. Chandrasekaran, yes. He had a very successful track record as the CEO of TCS.
Right.
He was appointed chairman of Tata Sons in January 2017. His appointment was widely seen as an effort to restore stability and leverage the group's existing strengths after that preceding period of uncertainty.
And he quickly set about outlining his priorities and a new strategic direction for the Tata Group moving forward.
His initial priorities included focusing on restructuring the various business verticals within the group, increasing the promoter stake held by Tata Sons in the operating companies, and guiding the conglomerate towards a more sustainable and future-oriented path. He introduced the One Tata strategy.
One Tata. What does that entail?
It centers on simplifying the group's complex structure, fostering greater synergy and collaboration across its diverse entities, and achieving enhanced economies of scale.
Making it more cohesive.
Exactly. We've also witnessed significant strategic initiatives under his leadership, acquisitions through India's bankruptcy laws, the successful bid to reacquire Air India.
A big homecoming moment.
Absolutely. And substantial investments in the rapidly growing e-commerce sector through Tata Digital. His leadership style is often described as pragmatic and execution-focused.
Streamlining and preparing for the future.
Yes, streamlining operations and preparing the group for the technological transformations ahead.
And speaking of the current state of affairs, we have some recent financial performance data for some of the key listed companies within the Tata Group. This gives a snapshot of how these diverse businesses are currently doing.
Yes, looking at the recent financial highlights for FY25, we see, a mixed but overall positive picture.
Okay.
TCS reported full-year revenue exceeding $30 billion, showing its continued strength in IT services, though their Q4 profit moderated slightly.
Right.
Tata Motors saw a decrease in consolidated profit in Q4, but JLR continued its strong performance with increased profitability.
Okay, so JLR doing well.
Yes. Tata Steel reported a significant year-on-year increase in its EBITDA for the full fiscal year, largely driven by its India operations. Tata Consumer Products showed robust growth in both revenue and net profit in Q4. Tata Power also saw a substantial jump in its Q4 net profit, mainly fueled by the strong performance of its renewable energy business.
Renewables paying off.
Seems so. An Indian hotels company announced record-breaking performance for the full year, significant growth in revenue and profit, highlighting the resurgence of hospitality.
It truly underscores the breadth and diversity of the Tata Group. Different sectors performing differently depending on market conditions and their own strategies. And we have a table summarizing these recent highlights. Now, taking a broader perspective, what does the Tata Group look like today in terms of its overall scale and global impact?
Today, the Tata Group stands as a truly global enterprise. Headquartered in India, yes, but comprising 30 companies operating across 10 distinct industry verticals.
10 verticals, that's a lot.
It is, and it has a significant operational presence in over 100 countries across 6 continents.
Wow.
For the fiscal year 2023-24, the group's consolidated revenue exceeded $165 billion. And it employs a global workforce of over 1 million people.
1 million employees. Incredible scale.
And as of March 31st, 2024, there were 26 publicly listed Tata companies with a combined market cap of over $365 billion.
It's an immense and multifaceted organization. Its reach extends into virtually every corner of the global economy. And the sheer variety of industries they are involved in is quite remarkable.
It is. From foundational industries like steel and power to cutting-edge tech and a vast array of consumer-facing services, their portfolio is incredibly diverse.
Which gives them resilience.
Exactly. Significant resilience against fluctuations in specific markets and allows them to capitalize on different phases of economic cycles.
Let's delve into some of these key industrial verticals and the flagship companies within them. It really illustrates the vast scope.
Okay. Starting with technology, a major growth driver. You've got TCS, of course, a global leader in IT services. Then Tata Elxsi in product engineering. Tata Digital encompassing ventures like Tata Neu, Big Basket, 1 Milligram.
The digital push.
Exactly. And Tata Technologies focusing on engineering and product development. In steel, Tata Steel remains a global giant.
Right.
automotive. Tata Motors, with its diverse portfolio including EVs, the globally recognized JLR, and Tata Autocomp systems, their consumer and retail presence is extensive. Tata Consumer Products with brands like Tata Tea, Tetley, Tata Salt, Titan Company known for Temish jewelry, Titan watches, Voltas in consumer durables, Trent with retail chains like Westside, Zudio, and Infinity Retail operating the Chroma electronics stores.
Just huge in consumer goods.
Yeah.
And their involvement extends to crucial infrastructure and financial services sectors as well.
Indeed, infrastructure. Tata Power is key, with a growing emphasis on renewables, alongside Tata Projects, Tata Housing, Tata Realty.
Okay.
Financial services interests are substantial. Tata Capital, Tata AIA Life Insurance, Tata AIG General Insurance. They also have a significant footprint in aerospace and defense through Tata Advanced Systems.
TSL, right?
That's it. And in tourism and travel with Indian Hotels Company, the Taj Hotels, and the recently consolidated Air India Group.
Saved in the fold.
Back in the fold. Finally, telecom and media include Tata Communications and Tata Play, and they maintain trading and investment arms through Tata International and Tata Industries.
It's quite an evolution from B2B to having such a big B2C presence now. Requires different skills.
It does. New competencies in branding, marketing, direct customer relations. And flagship companies like TCS, Tata Motors, Tata Steel, Tata Consumer, Tata Power, they hold leadership positions or are major players in their fields. We're seeing ongoing shifts, too. TCS into AI, Tata Motors into EVs, Tata Power into renewables.
It's a truly staggering portfolio, demonstrating both depth and breadth. Now, moving beyond the sheer scale, what are the fundamental principles and organizational structures that define what we call the Tata Way?
Well, at the heart of the Tata Way lies Tata Sons Private Limited.
The holding company.
Exactly. The principal investment holding company and promoter of all the Tata Group companies. Originally a trading enterprise in 1917, it's evolved into the central guiding force.
And its shareholding structure is quite unique, isn't it? With the majority held by philanthropic trusts.
Yeah.
Very different from most global corporations.
That's a crucial distinction. Approximately 66% of the equity in Tata Sons is held by philanthropic trusts, mainly the Sir Dorabji Tata Trust and the Sir Ratan Tata Trust.
Wow.
These trusts support education, healthcare, livelihoods, arts, culture, a wide range. This charitable trust-led ownership isn't just CSR, it's fundamental to their governance model.
How does that influence decisions?
Well, it likely encourages decisions that prioritize long-term sustainability and stakeholder well-being over purely short-term profits. It can act as a buffer against purely market-driven pressures and reinforces ethical behavior.
Right.
JRD Tata articulated this philosophy of service to all stakeholders, not just shareholders, but employees, consumers, communities, the nation, emphasizing fair, transparent, responsible, ethical management. And that BEBP agreement we talked about reinforces this by requiring companies using the Tata name to adhere to high ethical standards and strive for excellence.
So it's a system where profit pursuit is intrinsically linked to a broader social purpose, embedded right into the ownership structure. And they also have a well-defined corporate governance framework to ensure ethical and efficient operations across such a vast group.
They do. A robust framework is in place. The Tata Code of Conduct, TCO, initially formulated by Ratan Tata in '98, embodies the core values guiding behavior across all Tata entities and employees. It's the bedrock of their ethical operations.
Okay.
While each Tata company operates independently under its own board, there are also specialized board committees. Audit, nomination and remuneration, CSR committees assisting the boards. Plus, a comprehensive system of policies covers various areas: anti-bribery, human rights, environment, whistleblower protection, etc.
So formal mechanisms are key.
Essential for systematizing and enforcing the Tata Way across such a large, diverse conglomerate. It ensures brand consistency and maintains stakeholder trust, especially during global expansion and entering new businesses.
And the commitment to corporate social responsibility isn't just recent. It seems deeply rooted, dating back to the very beginnings.
Absolutely. CSR is deeply ingrained in the Tata DNA, originating with Jamsetji Tata and consistently emphasized by subsequent leaders. We see numerous contemporary examples.
Like what?
For instance, in FY 23-24, Tata Chemicals spent $172 million on initiatives in agriculture, education, healthcare, environment, benefiting over 300,000 people in the preceding 3 years.
Wow.
Tata Motors' 10-year CSR review highlights spending $2 billion, impacting over 6 million lives through projects in health, education, and environment, like planting 2 million trees. Tata Power DDL allocated 125.6 million in FY 23-24 to projects in education, healthcare access, sustainability. Tata Steel is active in community empowerment through agriculture, skill training, preserving tribal culture.
So it's broad and continuous.
Very much so. They publish annual CSR reports detailing performance and initiatives. And importantly, it's evolved from traditional philanthropy to creating scalable, sustainable community development programs focused on long-term, measurable impact and replicable models.
It's a comprehensive and long-standing commitment. And they also have a strong focus on environmental sustainability through Project Alangana.
Yes, Project Alangana is the Tata Group's overarching ESG environment, social, governance vision for a greener, cleaner, more sustainable future.
What are its pillars?
It's built on 3 core pillars. 1, decarbonizing operations and value chains. 2, adopting systemic circular economy models. 3, actively protecting and restoring the natural environment.
Ambitious goals.
Very, including achieving net zero emissions by 2045 for major operating companies.
2045.
Replenishing fresh water used in India operations by 2030, achieving zero waste to landfill, significantly increasing renewable recycled resources and products, and developing action plans for net positive impact on biodiversity.
And they report on this transparently.
Yes, many Tata companies publish detailed ESG reports aligned with global standards covering climate change, water management, circular economy, responsible supply chains, etc.
Right.
Project Alangana and these detailed ESG targets show a fundamental integration of sustainability into core business strategy. It's driving innovation and long-term value beyond just compliance, seen in their push for renewables, EVs, resource efficiency.
So this intricate web of values, unique governance, and deep-seated commitment to social and environmental responsibility truly defines the Tata Way. Now, as we look to the future, what are the key strategic imperatives guiding the Tata Group under N. Chandrasekaran's leadership?
Under Chairman Chandrasekaran, the strategic direction is firmly focused on adapting to the rapidly evolving global economic landscape and aggressively pursuing emerging technological opportunities. The One Tata strategy is central here.
This One Tata strategy, it's about fostering greater synergy and achieving scale across the diverse group, correct?
Precisely. One Tata emphasizes simplifying the group structure, enhancing collaboration and synergies between companies, and achieving greater economies of scale. The goal is to make the whole conglomerate more agile, competitive, resilient, especially in capital-intensive and technology-driven emerging industries. This involves restructuring business verticals, increasing Tata Sons' stakes in group companies for greater influence, and potentially integrating overlapping businesses, like in the airline sector.
Makes sense. And it seems that digital transformation, particularly AI and data application, is a major horizontal focus across the entire group.
Absolutely. Digitalization and AI aren't seen as isolated business lines, but as crucial horizontal enablers, driving efficiency, innovation, growth across all Tata companies.
Sure.
Chairman Chandrasekaran has consistently emphasized the imperative for group companies to proactively adopt AI, leverage data analytics, digitalization, machine learning. TCS, as the tech flagship, is positioning AI as a core pillar of its future strategy.
There were some initial concerns about their AI strategy.
Yes, Mr. Chandrasekaran expressed some dissatisfaction earlier. Leadership changes were made to strengthen focus. Now TCS is collaborating with partners like Google Cloud to accelerate AI adoption in sectors like telecom and has delivered numerous commercial AI applications.
And we're seeing practical applications of AI being implemented across various Tata Group businesses already.
Indeed, significant strides. For instance, Tata Group is planning India's first AI-driven semiconductor wafer fab in Gujarat, integrating advanced automation, data analytics, machine learning throughout.
Wow.
Tata Steel has implemented Suraksha, an RFID-based worker safety solution. Their Kalinganagar plant is recognized as a lighthouse factory for adopting Industry 4.0 tech. Titan Company uses its Prometheus machine learning platform for demand forecasting, merchandise optimization, personalized marketing. They use Third Eye for retail store location analysis and AI in new product design.
Very data-driven.
Exactly. In automotive, Tata Motors developed its Connected Vehicle Platform, CVP, for the Nexon EV, using data to predict real-world EV range. Tata Technologies is collaborating on solutions for next-gen software-defined vehicles, ADS, cockpit controllers. even in customer-facing businesses like Chroma, transformations are underway to enhance online and offline experiences. Tata Motors uses Red Hat OpenShift for an agile integration platform, significantly reducing dealer onboarding time.
So technology is a fundamental enabler.
That's the strategy, to enhance efficiency, innovation capabilities, and speed of new product development across all business units.
Another significant strategic move seems to be their ambitious entry into semiconductor and electronics manufacturing. This looks like a major bet on the future.
It is a truly significant, future-oriented strategic thrust. These substantial investments align with India's national ambition for self-sufficiency and becoming a global electronics hub, while also capitalizing on global supply chain restructuring.
What are the key projects here?
The cornerstone is the partnership between Tata Electronics and PSMC of Taiwan, investing $910 billion in India's first AI-enabled semiconductor wafer fab in Dholera, Gujarat.
Huge investment.
Massive. Expected to start production in 2025, capacity of 50,000 wafers monthly. Producing power management ICs, display drivers, MCUs, high-performance computing chips. PSMC provides design, setup support, tech licensing.
Okay. And there's more.
Yes, complementing this is Tata Electronics' new $270 billion semiconductor packaging and testing OSAT facility in Assam, positioned to be the largest in India and Southeast Asia. Daily capacity of 48 million chips, expected to create over 30,000 jobs starting mid-2025.
Building an ecosystem.
Exactly. Tata Electronics plans MOUs with 10 more semiconductor companies. And in electronics assembly, Tata Electronics has started assembling iPhones, including the iPhone 16 series at its Hosur plant, expanding from chassis to complete units, aiming to exceed the scale of the acquired Wistron plant, positioning Tata as key in Apple's supply chain diversification.
So it's about building a whole indigenous ecosystem, not just individual plants.
Precisely. Crucial for long-term leadership in this strategically vital sector.
And their commitment to green energy is also substantial. Tata Power's renewable targets and the Agrada's battery business.
The green transition is seen as both a sustainability commitment under Project Malankana and a significant business opportunity. Substantial investments aim for leadership in clean energy and EV batteries.
What are Tata Power's targets?
Target of 70% of power generation capacity from renewables, solar, wind, hydro, by 2030. They're at 43% now. Plan to increase renewable capacity to 23 GW by FY30, allocating 60% of their 1.46 trillion capex for this, aiming to add 2 GW in FY26.
They're manufacturing solar components, too.
Yes, they have an operational 4.3 GW solar cell and 4.3 GW module manufacturing plant in Tamil Nadu.
And Agrada's, the battery business.
Agrada's is Tata Group's global battery division, building gigafactories. Key project is the 40 GWh per annum plant in Somerset, UK.
40 GWh, that's a lot of batteries.
Enough for about 500,000 EVs. A $4 billion investment creating 4,000 jobs, production starting 2026. Construction is underway.
And in India.
A new battery manufacturing plant in Sanand, Gujarat. Plus, Agrada's has R&D centers in the UK, India, US, elaborating with Tata Technologies on battery development.
They're exploring other green tech, too.
Yes, exploring green hydrogen, small modular reactors, carbon capture.
And beyond these headline-grabbing sectors, the Tata Group is also strategically expanding its presence in healthcare and advanced manufacturing.
In healthcare, they're committed to improving accessibility, affordability, quality, building on their philanthropic tradition and leveraging commercial entities like Tata AIG for health insurance and Tata 1 mg for online pharmacy and diagnostics.
Tata 1 mg is quite prominent now.
Yes, a leading player in the Indian online pharmacy market, customer-centric, expanding diagnostic services, including oncology diagnostics and corporate health programs. Tata AIG also saw strong 30% growth in retail health insurance in FY24.
And advanced manufacturing.
TASL.
TASL is India's largest private sector aerospace manufacturer. Supplies complex aerostructures to global OEMs like Lockheed Martin C-130 parts, Boeing, Airbus, floor beams.
Partnering with Airbus for C-295 tactical transport aircraft production in India assembly line in Vadodara is operational, producing LAP engine components for CFM International.
They develop indigenous systems too, right?
Yes. The Tata Kestrel armored vehicle, Pinaka rocket launcher, Akash missile launcher, drones like Rajak, and even satellites TSAT-1A launched in April 2024, expanding manufacturing in Nagpur too.
So the overarching vision seems to be a continued global presence, built upon a strong foundation of high-tech emerging industries, leveraging India's demographic advantage and growing technological prowess.
Precisely. Firmly committed to global presence, building on their international foundation. High growth, Tech-intensive sectors like semiconductors, electronics, batteries are positioned as primary future growth engines, and strategically leveraging India's large young talent pool for sustained growth in this new era of tech and manufacturing resurgence.
And we have a final table summarizing these key future strategic focus areas and initiatives under N. Chandrasekaran. It paints a compelling picture of their ambitions.
It does indeed. Shows a group with deep historical roots actively shaping its future in a rapidly evolving global landscape.
So, as we conclude this deep dive into the Tata Group, it's clear we've explored a truly remarkable journey. Over 150 years. From Jamsetji Tata's pioneering ventures and nation-building spirit to its current status as a global, diversified conglomerate. There's been this consistent commitment to community welfare and ethical governance. Their story is a compelling microcosm of Indian industrial history and a unique case study in global corporate development.
Absolutely. You could almost talk about a Tata paradox, couldn't you?
How so?
Deeply rooted in Indian heritage and values, yet increasingly global in operations and ambitions. A strong philanthropic core operating within highly competitive business environments.
Right.
It seems these very contradictions might be a source of their unique appeal and longevity. Their history shows continuous self-renewal, adapting while staying steadfast in core values, nation-building, stakeholder well-being, ethical conduct. From textiles to steel to IT, now semiconductors and AI.
And their continued significance as a major force in both Indian and global economies is undeniable. Market position, financial strength, brand reputation.
Definitely.
But the challenges of managing such a huge, complex group, navigating geopolitics, executing these ambitious high-tech plans, they're significant too.
Absolutely. The group stands at another critical inflection point. Its investments in tech, sustainability, advanced manufacturing will be crucial in determining its future growth and global impact.
Indeed. Looking ahead, the Tata Group's strategic positioning, especially in high-tech manufacturing, semis, electronics, batteries, and digital leadership like AI, it's not just corporate strategy, is it? It seems closely aligned with India's national vision.
It is very much aligned with enhancing India's global economic and technological standing. So Tata's success in these future critical areas will likely have broad, profound implications for India's industrial future as a whole. Ultimately, their ability to execute these complex, capital-intensive projects in this rapidly changing era, while steadfastly upholding their unique ethos, that will be the key yardstick for measuring their future achievements.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How does a business group with such deep historical roots and a strong ethical foundation navigate the hyper-competitive, technologically disruptive landscape of the 21st century? What lessons can other organizations learn from their long and evolving journey, especially in balancing profit with purpose and local identity with global ambition?
A lot to ponder there.
Thank you for joining us. See you next time.